Hey, Bad Christian here again, and folks, we've got some great news going on today. It looks like the Clintons are going to show up to testify in the Epstein files. Oh, they're going to release some secrets. Hey guys, I don't know if y'all remember what happened back in the day, but do you remember Pizzagate? Do you remember what some of these people had to say about some of that stuff? Check this out. Hillary is the original OG on protecting pedophiles. Let's have a listen.
Propaganda efforts, something called active measures, which they've used in many other settings, not just in our election. Well, you can only go so far with read these emails and listen to people, as in every campaign you can imagine, debate about what to do when and who says what and all of that. So they had to be weaponized. They had to have elements plucked out and perverted in a way that would be hard to imagine, and then sent back out into the cyber virtual world. So in one of the emails, John Podesta is talking about pizza. He's Italian and Greek, and
a very good cook.
And yeah, his risotto recipe is still there if you want to see it. And I'm sure there's something very nefarious about that risotto recipe. So all of a sudden, John's writing about pizza, and one of these really, I consider, evil people in the media world and in the online world, out of whole cloth, make up this story that John Podesta and I are running a child trafficking ring in the basement of the Comet Pizza Parlor.
By the way, there is no basement.
Yeah, there is no basement on that. Now, you would think people would be laughing like crazy, shaking their heads, but if you migrate that crazy story to Facebook posts, to news outlets, there are people who will believe that, including this very unfortunate young man in North Carolina who believed it. It was meant to be believed to influence voting. Even I have to say I don't believe it was meant to be believed to influence somebody to pick up an AR-15 and drive from North Carolina to Washington to liberate the imaginary children from the imaginary basement of the pizza parlor. But in came this young man believing that he was on a mission because he saw it on Facebook, he saw it in other places online, he saw it in, quote, news outlets, and so he was there on a mission of rescue. People could have gotten killed. He shot his automatic weapon off inside this pizza parlor. The street where Politics and Prose is was shut down. There was an active crime scene because people who cared more about weaponizing information, making negative stories up, than the truth, than facts, or even public safety, and certainly any concern about children was non-existent. They were determined to stimulate, to propagate the attitudes that would grab some people in some states, some congressional districts, some towns and counties, so that they would be saying, well, gosh, if Hillary Clinton and her campaign chairman are doing something like that, they should go to jail. I can't vote for that. That's the worst example, but there are so many other examples that were the same pattern, from stealing to giving to WikiLeaks to propagating to weaponizing into somebody's Google chain, into somebody's Facebook post. And I think it's one of the most serious challenges we face going forward in politics, not just at the presidential level, but up and down, because if we don't get a handle on information that is not just controversial, protected by the First Amendment, but aimed at spreading lies to the extent that they can cause behavior like we saw in this terrible instance, it will not stop.
So there you have it, folks. She's not interested in releasing any files. She's not interested in talking about anything. That was her argument on why we needed to just quit talking about Pizzagate, because it was all just a hoax. I mean, the word pizza, what meaning could that have? I mean, nothing to talk about here. This is all just a hoax, okay? Just to influence people to hate politicians. That's all this is, right? So, don't expect anything at the testimony or this, whatever this is that her and her husband are supposed to give. Don't expect anything, because she is the original OG, folks, at protecting pedophiles. Have a great day, everybody.